George Farah, come to me. Like the movie Ghost. Jump into my body. I tell you one thing right now. The biggest mistake in the world was Rami pulling out. All he needs to do is go to Ethiopia, open up the Ark of the Covenant, and drink the sand. Once he does that, he's shredded. That is the secret to getting dry. Now let's begin the Olympia.
I created Species Nutrition with one mission in mind: to provide bodybuilders and serious athletes with no-nonsense supplements that work. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution.
Let me go around the panel real quick. Just give me one number. How many in this field can you make a legitimate case for to win the Mr. Olympia? King.
Let's see. Derek, Hadi, Samson, Nick, Andrew. And if Behruz was in it, he's another X factor, but he won't be in it. So I'll bet 4 guys. I'll say 4
Chris?
guys.
Yeah, I would say at least 4. At least
Dave?
4.
I agree.
I would say 5. I mean, you have Derek, you have Hadi, you have
Who's
Andy,
your
you have
fifth?
Samson. Nick? You don't think Nick is going to be a factor in this?
Yeah, I mean, he
No.
could. I mean, he's saying no.
So, wait, King, I know this is, okay, we're going on a grand detour here. If Behruz was here, you would give him a legitimate chance to win the Olympia. Not
to win the Olympia, but throw a really hard
wrench
face shot to Hadi. It would have been a straight. What's a good one of these relief pitches that hit somebody in the face? Because Behruz is bringing that Iranian conditioning. Okay, it's a genetic thing. Iranians have that conditioning. Look at all the Iranian athletes from men's physique to classic. They have that conditioning. It's a genetic thing that's built into the culture. Number one. Number two, half these guys are sheep herders, man. And of course they know how to fucking suffer. They know how to suffer beyond belief. They live in the mountains and they play with goats and whatever. Of course they're going to learn how to suffer. So you put all that in there. I think Nick Walker is, again, I'm going to keep going back and saying this. Like Nick got mad at me last year because I had counted him out and all that stuff. But when you look at what Nick offers, side chest, side tricep, back double bicep, he throws the whole thing off a little bit. And then when you threw Behruz in there, Behruz has a beautiful physique for a big guy like that. He has the small waist. So he's like in the mix of Samson and Hadi. And you put them together and you have Behruz. That is all. This is the stuff that I want to see when we get up there. So yes, I think Behruz would have thrown a curveball in there, and the judges, knowing Steve, knowing Weinberger, he would have pulled them out there for the comparisons just so they can see what the fuck is going on.
So let's talk a little bit more about Nick Walker, because again, I mentioned him in my 5 that I could make a legitimate case for. Dave, you flat out said no, you do not see him as a front end Mr. Olympia contender. Why is that?
No, I mean, I think he has the muscle and the conditioning to do it. I think the guys that we mentioned previous to him have just better structure than he does. So you'd have to have all these guys be off a little bit for Nick to win the Olympia. I also, another thing that's kind of like setting red flags to me is that I don't see a lot of Instagram stuff from Nick Walker, and that's not typical Nick Walker. Nick is usually throwing shit out there constantly prior to the show. So that's worrying me a little bit about maybe he's not looking quite as good as he wanted to look. I mean, he was a little off at the New York Pro, you can make a case for Martin Fitzwater winning that. I thought he edged Nick out a little bit, and I don't know. Maybe Nick's head is not where it needs to be. I know obviously this is redemption for him because he had to miss last year's Olympia because of the torn hamstring, but I don't know. The fact that he's kind of like not really, showing up a lot on Instagram either means he looks amazing or he looks off. And Nick's confidence is such that he's not afraid to put it out there when he looks amazing. So I'm a little concerned that maybe he might not be at his best.
Chris Cormier, make an argument for or against Nick Walker being amongst those title contenders.
Well, I would say for because if he was in the competition last year, a lot of people think he might have been good enough to win it last year. So you should have nothing but that in his mind as he's going for this competition. He's done the New York Pro before and then competed in Olympia before. So that shouldn't be a major factor. He's been there before. Coming off of a hamstring issue from the previous year, is it still lingering a little bit? We don't know that for sure. But, I think that I was having him in my top 3 in all my predictions most of this year. So I still gotta hang with that still and still give him, the benefit of the doubt with not posting and everything right now. Every time you count this guy out, he always comes. He always comes with it. So
and I feel like he's coming in on a mission now because one of the biggest debate points, and I want to address this as well with you guys, is that okay, if we are to assume Derek, Hadi, Samson, and that you're going to put Andrew in that top 4, there are those that do not have Nick in the top 5. So my question is, if not Nick, who is sliding into that top 5? King.
Is Brandon Curry in the show?
Yes.
Curry's in the show. Martin Fitzwater's in the show.
Always going to be he's always going to be there. Not Hunter. Hunter, I love Hunter. Don't get mad at me, Hunter. I'm just saying I still haven't seen you dry, bro. I still haven't seen you dry. I would say Brandon Curry. If Behruz was in it, again, I keep going back to Behruz.
Don't go to people who are not in the show.
well, wait, hold on a second. King, while I have you here, because again, I try to keep tabs on, whatever his status is. And what do you know anything behind the scenes as far as what his case has been in administrative hold for 2 years? How is it that nobody with any sort of connections is able to go in and, I don't know, get that case revisited? Do you have any knowledge as far as why he cannot?
You just can't. Yeah, listen, Hani has found the loophole. I don't know what it is. I think the loophole is that maybe Hadi is paying taxes.
The loophole was that Donald Trump was in office when they got Hadi in there originally. That's why.
Or maybe because he's paying taxes on the money that he's
right.
Paying. Who knows what the fuck is going on?
That's what I've heard as well. That again, it's a sponsorship thing. Exactly. But go on.
Yeah. But again, it's a hard question for me to answer. Man, I would say Brandon Curry. Yeah, Brandon Curry. Olympia, if he keeps his legs full, he was sick last year. He was still in the first call out. I mean, there's a whole bunch of factors in there like that, and everybody always, forgets about Brandon Curry. I would say he'd be the person to slide in.
Let's welcome in Carlo Filippone. Carlo, while we have you here, I just wanted to announce once again, we posted on our Instagram, we are having a 2024 official Olympia prediction contest. It's is powered by Species Nutrition and the Chicken Pound. Carlo, generous enough to put up money not only for the cash prize, but also put up free chicken. So the top 3 finishers are going to receive free chicken. The grand prize is essentially going to have free chicken for an entire month. So go on our Instagram. The link is in the bio. It's live right now. You can enter
for an entire month. Good Lord.
For an entire month.
Actually, it might be longer than that. It's 20 pounds. What is it? 20 pounds of chicken?
It's 20 pounds of chicken for the winner. And guys, great to see everybody. Real deal. What's going on?
Yeah.
Dave, what's going on, bud?
You're going to predict the 1 through 15 for the men's open class.
What if Cormier is Cormier allowed to enter? Can Cormier
Why
enter
not?
this?
Well, this isn't insider trading. It's
I'll
not like
give you
Cormier
some
has some
chicken.
like.
All right, you
But
better fill out your application, Cormier.
so here are
All
the
right.
rules. You fill out 1 through 15. Your 1 through 15 predictions for the men's open class, 1 through 5 for classic physique, and then the division winners for the remaining divisions. We have a point total assigned to 1 through 5 for men's open, 1 through 5 for classic, and then each of the division winners. Total of 57 points, and we're going to see who's going to finish in the top 3, and they are going to win cash prizes, a supplement package from Species Nutrition, as well as free chicken of your flavor from the Chicken Panel. We, of course, thank Carlo. Carlo, we're going to throw you right into the fire on this one. So we're talking about Nick Walker. We're talking about the top 5, and one of the biggest debates heading into this Olympia about Nick Walker is whether or not he's going to be top 5, whether he's going to be a candidate to win the thing outright. Where do you stand? Where do you see Nick Walker coming off the hamstring injury in a quote-unquote comeback/revenge tour? How do you see him placing at this Olympia?
And thanks for asking, and great to be with you guys. I heard a little bit of what you guys were saying. Listen, I have a problem with Nick winning because I don't think that I think they're going to be they're going to have a very hard time between the shape and the aesthetics of the other potential top 4 or 5 competitors, right? So you sent me that form and I started filling it out yesterday, and I have to go with Derek winning again, Hadi second. It could be interchanged. I think we can all agree with that. And then here's my thing. A 100% Nick Walker, in shape, shredded, peeled to the bone, finishes third. And then you have Samson, and then you have Andrew Jacked. And then I agree with you, King. Brandon Curry could slide into that top 5 at any time. I do think that's your top 6. I think I have Brandon in 6th, and then I have Hunter, and I hope he doesn't hate me too, but I have him in 7th because I haven't seen him dry. But the Nick Walker thing, right? Let's understand this. If any one of those top 2 guys is off, then Nick Walker can win. And, we have seen Samson not 100%, and Andrew Jacked is still kind of, I don't want to say figuring it out because he certainly looked amazing a couple of times. But Nick Walker could come in and blow everybody away with conditioning, especially if the 2 shorter guys are remotely off. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. So, Chris Cormier, here's my question to you. Because between Hunter and between Nick, I feel like they are so polarizing in terms of what people's opinions are about their physique. Nick Walker in particular, you either love his physique, you either love the fact that he's, a freaky presence on stage, or that physique is just not your cup of tea. What do you need to see out of Nick Walker, not only maybe in this Olympia, but to future Olympias, to give himself the best chance to be there in position, should someone be off, to hoist the Sandow?
Fullness in the chest, matching the back from the front, very strong from the back. You have to be just as strong from the front. Got a great, most muscular side chest, side tricep, all that stuff is great with him. Always got to keep in check the midsection on the stage. Posing needs to be spot on. He had some issues with that front lat spread before. He got a little better when he came in at the Arnold after that with the front lat spread. So it's just, maximizing your physique. You always got to be in the condition, because if you're without that, then he can't do it up there with those other guys. So for some reason, if he's not on, then that can give him a lot of trouble.
King, what do you need to say out of Nick Walker?
Him at his all-time best.
What is his all-time best?
The nasty, grainy, like he's got that Branch Warren conditioning, that Branch Warren look to his body. And if he brings that graininess with the size and, again, being pissed off, that could be a good thing, because some people actually propel themselves to the next level with anger. You got that Incredible Hulk syndrome. I think Nick's like that. I think he really, really thinks in his head that he could have won last year. You know, and there's some argument for that too, you know, because there are some shots that he can really, really look outstanding. Like Nick Walker he brings out he shows the weak spots on a lot of people. Like from the back, I think he could crush Hadi. You know what I'm saying? And from the side shots, he's matching them and beating himself. I mean, it all depends. If he comes in at his incredible grainy look and he's aggressive on stage too, that's something that I always tell everybody. Be aggressive. I said that to Samson 100 times. I'm saying that this year to Andrew. We've been going back and forth texting each other. Be aggressive up there. It makes a difference. If he's aggressive and his all-time best and grainy, he's got a shot. I don't know if he can win, but he's in there.
Dave, given what you just saw at the New York Pro just a couple of months ago, and given the fact that, again, ever since Nick Walker turned pro, again, you've been a big proponent of his. Given what you saw in New York, what would you like to see in a couple of weeks out of Nick Walker? Again, considering he's been in dark mode, which is kind of atypical for him heading into a big show. You see him very active on social media, perhaps taking a different approach this time. Physique-wise, attribute-wise, pose-wise, what do you want to see?
Look, we want to see the freaky Nick Walker with great conditioning, but you know what? At this point, you know, is that enough? I don't know.